Hello everybody, welcome back to an edition of the training of the Modicon M221. I'm your host, Andromeda, and in this video what we're going to see is how we can share information from our Modicon M221 to another system. Okay, so there are different ways to doing it. Okay, you can have the M221 as a server. Okay, so everyone can try to access to the M221 and read information or write information that the one that it needs to. Or you can have the M221 as a client and then write into other systems. Okay, but for that part I have already done some videos, okay, for the IO scanner, which is the easiest way. So in this one what we're going to do is just to how we need to configure the M221 to read information, so other device can read information from the M221. Okay, so let's go to the software. So I'm going to try to connect with the one that I have. So if everything is fine, will be this. Okay, upload. Yes, we're going to upload. Okay, good. So now that I have this one, I'm going to start playing with it. Okay, so I need to make some modifications now. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to focus on the Ethernet part of the M221. So another device will need to read information, write information to the M221 that is configured over Ethernet. So the first thing that we need to is to see if our M221 is in the same network as the other device. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to have this PLC, okay, this IP address on this range. Okay, and then the other thing is that if your M221 is going to be the server, you need to enable the Modbus server on it. Otherwise, you cannot read information to. So this one needs to be enabled. Then you also have the possibility to use EDS from the M221 to use as an adapter on Ethernet IP. Okay, so if you want to do that, then just use Ethernet IP. Okay, so now I got this already configured. I'm going to delete this part. Okay, delete. And then what I'm going to do is to use the standard thing. Okay, we have a possibility to use models mapping. That I'm going to show you that later. Now we're going to focus on the standard. Okay, so I have configured my IP, my network. Then here I have a counter. Good. I'm going to delete this part. So this is my counter. Okay, fine, good. So what I'm going to do now is to create, I don't know, like my database. So it's gonna be a SAR database where I move my information to one specific location on my PLC. So for example, you have tools, memory objects, memory words, and then you have defined here, I don't know, starting from the position 100, it's gonna be data read 01, okay, data read 2, data read 3, data read 4, and then starting for the 120, it's gonna be data that comes for writing from the other device 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you define this. Now what you need to do is to put information there. So here I'm going to use the percentage MW 100. It's going to be equal to the counter, I believe is MW0. Okay, and then for example, if you want to write a Boolean variable here, so for example I have M10 and M12, that means something in particularly. You can link this and link directly into that M101, MW100, Then you have colon X and the bit that you want to. And MW 101 X2. This one's going to be 101. So here you prepare the information for the other system to read. Nothing special so far. The other devices need to read into the MW100 standard. And then, for example, if you just want to read information and move it to one place, you can have, for example, oops, going to create another one. So it's going to be if, for example, MW121 is bigger than 25, which is the information I'm going to read. I'm going to turn on M11, something, okay? The other way can also be possible. So if I want to use a boolean coming from the other side, imagine that it's going to be 100 MW 122 colon X3. Then I move this to M14. That's another option, and it may work. It will work. Okay, so I have this information. So what I'm going to do now is to send this into the M221. 192.168.1.221 add login. Then I'm going to download this new application. PC to controller download. Yeah. And I believe I need to power cycle the unit. 192.168.1.221. You can see here trying to do something, doesn't allow me. It's probably already changed the IP address. 0.221. It has changed the IP address. Operations and circle, yeah. So now I'm going to connect to this one. And it's connected, okay. And it's in run. So I have this one, let's see. POU, I'm going to enable the counter, the limit. It's coming here. And the view, it's going to be 55. So now it's starting the counter, okay? And this is information I'm going to share with your device, okay? So in this particular case, to test it, I'm going to try to use M262. So I have already configured this part. So usually you will do like function blocks, okay? But I'm going to speed up the process and use the IO scanner on the M221 and define the functions that I need to for this. So ModbusTCP, I'm going to define all device generic, my M221 ModbusTCP, add device, close. I have device. So here I need to define the IP address of the M221. Here I just need to add the channel. So the channel will be the unit ID is going to be 255, which is the M221 default. Then I just need to define the read holding registers. Okay, read holding registers. In theory will be the one from 100. Okay, this is something that we need to check. So if this doesn't work at the first time and it's not that it's going to work, you can probably have it doesn't work, or you'll just read the information with an offset. Okay, so instead of having this, you're reading this. So you just need to check if you are pointing to the right one. Okay, so here I'm going to read 5 registers. Okay, it's going to be channel read. Okay, then I'm going to create another channel, ch write. I'm using the function 16. You can use the function 23. Okay, we're just going to show you that just using two different codes. Okay, and here it's going to be 120. It's going to write into 3 words. So here I have on the IO mapping all the information, okay, that I want to. So now let's see if I'm able to connect to the M221 M262 and download this. Okay. IP address is in the same range. Okay, and hopefully, if I remember the password, I'm going to delete this one, confirmation online. Yes. Administrator, I believe it's automation 1. Yes, it was. And then we should be able to see something. Okay. In this case, I'm using an M262 in order to access to the information. Okay. But process on enable the things on the M221 is done. So here you can see that I have a connection, and I'm reading the device information I wanted. So in the other case that I needed to access to the Boolean variables, and reading this too. Okay, let's put this one in true. 1. So it's gonna be this one. Here you can see the bit 2. I'm reading that one. Now the opposite way, trying to write into the other one. Okay, so here I'm going to write a value, I don't know, 78. Control F, 78, and let's see on the M221. 121 is this one. Okay, I'm going to put this one back to 0. This one I'm going to put it on the 142. 142, and I'm going to read it 142. Okay, you can create an animation table here. It's going to be easy. So rename table database. Okay, and here you have the percentage NW 100 and column 5, I believe it said. Okay, you put that one there, and then I'm going to use NW 120, just 5 again, and you put the information coming from the other side. And let's try to write into this one, 122x3, 122x3, 0, 1, 2, 3, should be this one, 137, and there we go. This is how you access to information in the M221. It's working fine, good. Now, this is one way, and probably the traditional way to doing it. Now, let's go for a little bit more advanced. So, Ethernet 1, ModbusTCP, we have this Modbus mapping, enable unit ID. Here, you just find the unit ID. Okay, it's like a different area. Imagine like it's a different area for the M221 to have the information. And here you define the number output register and input registers. Okay, so I'm going to assign only 5 and 3 on this one. Okay, and apply. As soon as you did this, you should be able to find on the tools set to 3. Okay. So in the programming network object, you have input registers ModbusTCP and output registers ModbusTCP. Here you should be able to find this IWM, QWM. So we should be able to use this again. So here I'm going to duplicate this, copy, paste, database 2. So if we follow this input register, we have the possibility to assign symbol, so it's going to be much easier rather than use percentage something and forget. So it's going to be data to read underscore 01 2 3. Okay, now this indicates as an input register, and you have the QW. The Q means that the information will be out from the M221 for you to read. Okay, that is what it means. Okay, so here, yes, and here what we need to do is percentage QWM 0, or just use data to, and here I'm going to use data to data to, and that's fine. Now we can also use the output register. It's going to be data to write 01 2 3 5. Okay, so here I'm just going to change data data 2, the same from here, and change this one to 21 and this one 24, just to have different information and not overlap. Okay, so that seems to be working fine. So let's unload this into the M221. Login. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have that, and what we need to do is to use something on the M262 to read them. So on the M262, here we have unit ID. Okay, so what we can do is to add a channel. We're going to use read and write at the same time. I'm going to use the channel read write. The unit ID is going to be 247, which is the number that we have configured over here, 247. Then I'm going to assign this. For read is going to be 0, 3, and offset is going to be 5. For write. So in theory, if this works fine, you should be able to see the more IOs here, 3 and 5. In your case, you can probably delete these two and leave just one. But I'm going to try this all together and see what happens. Hopefully it will work. Okay, start, go to start. It's waiting, there we go. So I have a connection, seems fine. So let's see what happened here. Okay, so right now there's nothing because I believe on the other side the M221 doesn't have anything at all, because I have downloaded a new application and the counter is in 0. Okay, so now we're going to create a new database table. We name table database 2. It's gonna be INW03 IWM05 and QWM0 is going to be 3 only. Okay, so we should be able to see this information here too. Let's enable the the counter. So here I'm going to enable the counter. Okay, I need to enable this part. And we have to, oops, 55, and it's counting. You can see that I have this information available on the QWM for the other device to read. Okay, so let's go to the M262, and here you see they are reading the information, which is fine. It's good. And then I'm going in again here. I'm going to enable these two, so we should be able to see the value 1 and 5, I believe. Yes, number 5 here. Then let's write into the other one. So I can write here the number 111. And here 111, but I should read this one to see this. So I need to use 221. Okay, 27, and then you see M221. So if I need to write into this one, it's number bit 3. It's gonna be this one, 0, 1, 2, 3, and write into this. There we go. Okay, so this is how you can use the M221 as a server. Okay, there is also another way to do the Ethernet API. So you just need to enable this. You just write information that you have over here, inputs, output again, and then you just write the information on the code on the PLC. Then you have possibility to export the DS that I believe it has by default 20 registers, the size 2020. I have already done a video from this one using the M262, that's why I'm going to do it again. But you can find that as a M221 as an Ethernet adapter. This is just to show you on ModbusTCP how easy it is when you just need to use the M221 as a server. Okay, it's just very straightforward. You just need to be aware where the variables are going to be. Okay, and if you're using the traditional way, using the %NW. Then if you want to use the other one to have a specific database, okay, for IWM or QWM, you just need to be aware of the unit ID and point to the 0 position and use the model function block 22 for multi-register, multi-reading, okay, reading and writing. So this is how we can use the M221 as a server on ModbusTCP connection. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.